Hola.
Hola, this is Don Self in Grand Junction,
And Gabby Self.
and we're back.
Finally.
Finally. What are we talking about today?
Tattoos.
Tattoos. Now, who gets credit for this?
Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Hi Kim. Hi Kim Self.
She gets credit. We were talking last night. It's like, what do you want to talk about today? Neither one of us. I have some ideas, and for other times.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about tattoos. What's so important about tattoos?
Symbolism.
Symbolism. Well, isn't it true that some people just get tattoos because they like the tattoo?
That's true. I don't know. Well,
I think so.
yeah. Some people do it for style.
True. I don't get it, because to me, if I'm going to put something on my body, then it's gonna be more symbolic than anything else.
That's kind of how I feel too. I mean, yeah. There's one tattoo on me that I just did it just because.
You have tattoos?
Just one, yes.
She has tattoos.
I have a lot of tattoos.
You do?
Yes. I look 12. I might look 12, but I have tattoos.
I don't have any tattoos.
Yes, you do.
I do?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, technically I have 3.
3?
I technically have 3 tattoos.
Are you including the sun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's still on my body.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was erased. So, yeah, I got my first tattoo when I was 19.
Oh, whoa.
How about you?
A little sun.
Yeah.
I think I was 17 when I first got my tattoo, which they were not happy about.
Who?
You. I mean, Mom was like, let's do it.
I'm thinking back on it. I may have thought something like, what? Oh, no. It wasn't that you got a tattoo. It was we had to go in and sign for it. I mean,
yeah.
Can't you wait until you're 18 and you can just go in and get your tattoo?
Nope.
No, she couldn't wait. So other than that, it's perfectly fine. So
yeah. Hey, I only couldn't wait because depressingly my dog died, and that's what the tattoo's about.
Yeah. What does the tattoo? What is it?
It has a banana. That was the wrong one. A banana and a sandwich, because those were her favorite things. Every time she'd hear a banana peel, she would just come running from anywhere in the house.
Yeah.
And then the best story with the sandwich was when my sister put it on the counter and walked away for 2 seconds, then it was gone.
Yeah.
So I always have. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
And that was Annie.
Yeah, that was.
Bella she would try to eat a banana, but it was not her favorite thing. She was more likely to spit it out.
She only did it because Annie did.
Yeah, she didn't want to feel left out, which makes sense when you're a pair of dogs. So what are you gonna get when RC passes? When Reptilian Complex passes?
I'm gonna get some cool tattoo for him. He's an interesting fella.
Will it include a fly swatter?
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, guys, if you haven't seen that video yet, you gotta check out the video of the fly swatter. That was hilarious.
He's amused by it.
Yeah, Kim gave me the idea this morning to go get a cat toy and try a cat toy.
Do it
to see if that might work. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it.
Maybe it's the color yellow.
Maybe.
But I don't know yet. I don't know. We gotta test it out.
And I mean, it was trying to eat the fly swatter.
He like chomped on it.
Oh yeah. So yeah. When I was 19 years old, I decided that I needed a tattoo. So my sister and I went to a local tattoo parlor in Texas, and I got one. And I really didn't. I like the star. I like a star, but they didn't do it like I wanted. Oh yeah, it was terrible. I did not want. It was a black outline with a red middle, and it looks terrible. And when I had an opportunity to get rid of it, I took it. But I wasn't gonna go through laser surgery to get that thing off. So instead, I covered it with my second tattoo. Now, we don't have pictures. It's on my shoulder. Yeah. So my second tattoo was Gur from Invader Zim. And he's a cute little robot. But I picked one where he's transitioning between his robot self and his disguise as a dog. Very credible disguise, by the way. Green with a zipper.
Green dog suit with some ears and a zipper.
Yeah.
Looks like a little hoodie.
Yeah, he's probably he's my favorite cartoon character ever. And now I consider him, he's right here on this shoulder. I consider him to be, maybe I can figure out some way of posting some pictures of him. He's my spirit animal.
It's pretty funny.
So that was my second tattoo. What was yours?
Oh gosh, my second one.
Do you remember?
No. I think it was this one. No. It was this one.
What is it?
So, this one is actually one I designed myself. And it's a skateboard, but as a bone. And then it has a bunch of like flame kind of waves going out. I don't know. I designed it. It was just kind of a doodle at first. But I actually got it because one of my friends passed away, and before he passed, he had told me that, I was drawing pictures for one of my group of friends' skate crew, and it's called Fun Filled Days, and I would fill in the banners with Fun Filled Days, and I was like, okay, that looks pretty sweet. And so I went and showed everybody it, and then he was like, oh, you should get that tattooed on you someday. And so I thought the best memorable way would to be to honor him after he passed.
So your first two were memorials, one to a dog and one to him. Yeah. Well, those definitely have meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Gur is my spirit animal, I can say that he has great meaning to me.
And he's funny.
That was actually the practice tattoo for my third tattoo, second one that's visible. And the tattoo artist that I went to, I didn't expect this tattoo to be as large as it is, but it is. And I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the results. The third tattoo that I got was I have a black belt in Muay Thai kickboxing. So I wanted a black belt tattoo. Everybody gets one. The thing about it is most people that I know get a band around their arm and various kinds. Some people, it's just as simple as a black belt. Mm-hmm. That's there. And I didn't want that because as you get older, you start losing muscle tone and your black belt kind of droops. And I was like, I don't want that. So I put it on my shoulder, put it on the shoulder right here. Again, a much larger tattoo than I expected. But that's also a tattoo that I designed. What I did was I took different elements from the internet and I put them together. First part of it is it's a scripture from 2 Timothy 4:7. And it one of the very first t-shirts I bought for Muay Thai was this boxer sitting in a corner with a towel over his head. And he's just the match is done, the boxing match is done, and he's just exhausted. And the scripture goes, I've complete. How does it go? I have completed the race. I've kept the faith. Anyway, I saw that. And I just thought it was amazing. So it has that encircling the tattoo, and then there's the three elements of the Trinity. So you have God the Father on the outside, and that's it's a stylized Alpha and Omega, and then you have an ichthus, which is the fish symbol. But if you look very closely at it, it's the ichthus, that fish symbol, has stitching on it. So it's actually a black belt. And in the middle, eventually, I got a flaming dove. And so that's the Holy Spirit. So you put those three elements together. And, it has immense meaning to me because that's one of the things that I want out of life is at the end of my life, I want to feel like I've kept the faith and that, I've succeeded. I've done something in life and made a difference.
Mhm.
So she has more tattoos than I do.
I like tattoos.
Well, I'm getting at least one more.
You should.
So what are some of the other tattoos that you got?
Well, I forgot to mention that one of my really, really good friends, Leandra, drew this for me as my very first tattoo. And it was it was the dog one. I just forgot to mention that, and I wanted to give her credit for it because it was sweet. But my third tattoo is actually pretty big. It is a snake pouring a glass of wine. And yeah, at first it has a meaning towards it. It's just kind of it's very personal because I guess 2 years ago, last 2 years, we'll say that, I have been kind of going through a mental recovery after going through what would you call it? My addiction with alcohol. So I've kind of during the middle of it, I wanted to remind myself that I'm not the snake. I'm not the snake that pours the alcohol. I have power over it, and so every time I would look at this, I would be like, well, don't let the snake feed you. Don't let because the snakes are depicted as sneaky. You pop up at you and you'll bite your ankle or something, or people describe bad people as snakes or something because they're untrustful or unloyal. And so that's probably also another reason why I picked a snake, was because it almost felt like an alter ego of mine. So I kind of felt like maybe that alter ego shouldn't be there and shouldn't be the one controlling me and my vessel and whatnot. Yeah, that's my third tattoo.
In counseling, I call it the shadow.
Interesting.
The shadow. And if you ever have a chance, read some on C.G. Jung talking about shadows and archetypes. It's fascinating.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So the next tattoo that I get is going to be a chest piece.
What's it going to be? A dragon?
Well, I think it gets to some of the other tattoos. No, it's not actually not. Liu Kang. No, it's not Mortal Kombat. It kind of gets into some of the other tattoos that you have. The plan is for a coyote or a couple of. What I really want is a couple of coyotes, tribal, and have. Do you remember or know the story of the son and the grandson and the grandfather? They're talking, and I'm going to mess it up. Anyway, there are two dogs living inside of me. And one of them is anger and hatred, and the other one is love and compassion. And the grandson says, well, which one? And they're constantly warring, and the grandson says, well, which one wins? And he says, the one that I feed. So what I'd ideally like is two coyotes that represent those light and dark. It's kind of like a yin yang type thing, but then have it surrounded by rays of the sun and the different colors of the chakras.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
that's really cool.
That's the chest piece that I would like to do next.
Heck yeah. I can't decide if I want my chakras on my back or going down the front. But either or would be really cool. I have a lot more.
Well, tell me about the one on your arms there.
I have two that kind of resemble the same thing.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Good placement.
So this one, obviously, if you know what it means namaste. I actually got this by my roommate, Isabel. She apprenticeships at Native Ink, and this was actually her first one under the gun. And her other two that she did as stick and pokes. This one's kind of interesting. It's a pyramid, and it has these little light beams,
Mhm.
and in the middle there's like a little black dot, but it's actually my freckle, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And then this is another one that she did. This Saturn actually has a meaningful story because I was really into this show called The OA, and it kind of just talks about traveling through time and like where you end up like in a near-death experience, like where would your soul, or not your body, but where does your soul go? And during one of the scenes, he maps out exactly where this lady goes. Her name's called the OA, and it stands for the original angel. And so she she's pretty mad at him because he actually kidnapped all of these people to do this big science project on near-death experiences. And so she's kind of sitting there with a towel over her, and it was after he like pretty much she is sitting there, and he tells her, he's all, just listen to this, and puts this eerie music on, and it's not music, it's actually the sounds of the rings of Saturn. And so when I heard that, I was very, very interested in the fact that it was because they make noises. All of the planets have a noise, and I had no idea until I watched the show. But the sound that Saturn gave off was just so weirdly eerie yet beautiful to me. Saturn as itself, not with the rings, sounds really eerie, but with the rings it makes it kind of sound beautiful at the same time. And so yeah, that's why I got that one. The other one was just that's the one that isn't really that important, other than I was like, just do it, yeah, I'm ready.
Make up a story.
Maybe about the Egyptians. Yeah. Maybe about the Egyptians. I like the Egyptians. I could see the pyramid working that way.
There you go, folks. Origin story.
Yep, there it is. And then this is my very last one. Everyone sometimes thinks it's a soccer ball, but in reality, it is a dodecahedron or I always forget how to pronounce it.
For you D&D people out there, it's a 20-sided dice. The magic of 20-sided dice. I think so. Isn't it 20-sided? Or is it 12?
Dodecahedron. Yeah, I was right. 12 faces.
Oh, sorry, 12-sided dice.
Number of edges is 30 and number of vertices is 20. But it is actually an element in, so, earth, fire, water, Avatar. But there is one more, and it's the fifth element, and it's actually called ether. Mm-hmm. And this is just the sacred geometry symbol to depict ether. And ether is, got the definition here so I don't mess it up, because I always do that. I don't know why it said me.
So for you Marvel fans, think Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, so it's thought to be the pure essence that the gods breathed, filling the space where they lived. It is also personified as a deity, Ether, the son of Erebus and Nyx in traditional Greek mythology. So yeah, it's really interesting. If you have any time, I'd say definitely research it. But sacred geometry, after I kind of read and dove deeper into it, there's like such a huge meaning behind it. You can go deeper as into fractals and all of this other stuff. And, fractals are pretty much everywhere, even in like little leaves and plants and stuff. Like just recently I saw a fractal in growing our sunflowers. Mm-hmm. It starts out as like a little spiral kind of sort of, but they all kind of drift in different ways going around. And it was just so interesting, and it's geometric. And it's kind of interesting that plants out of all things can do that.
Yeah. And we see that with rocks. Mm-hmm. Because if we're right by the Rocky Mountains, and you look in the mountains and you'll see these striations that run through them, and it just different strata that have been exposed. And then you can pick up a rock on the ground and you can find almost the exact same striations just through that. Nature's pretty amazing.
Nature's so cool. Super cool. But yeah, my plan, my next huge plan is to get this finished and get all of the sacred geometry going down. And right here at the top, just have somebody meditating over it, kind of sort of thing. And then I'm going to try and get the seed of life on my shoulder right here.
And at some point, you'll see a coyote chest piece.
Eventually.
Probably next year.
Do it.
Yeah, I just got to figure out who I want to do it.
It's so interesting. Everyone has done all of mine. Like artist from Raw Canvas did my own artwork, Calamity Jane's, Voodoo Circus. This one was Crypt Tattoo, and then Native Ink.
Mine were done. These two were the first one. I have no idea. That was 19. I was old, young. I was young. The other two were done by Tattoo Tom at Creative Tattoos.
Heck yeah!
I think he retired.
I think he did too, because I think somebody came over to. Oh, I forgot about one. Wow, I always forget it's there. I have this tattoo of a Chinese kitty.
Ah, cute.
And it resembles my cat Bodhi, because in our old apartment he would we had those stairs that, like stairs these days don't have the in between, but it's like an old 70s staircase kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they were just like floating steps.
Right.
And they had carpet on them. And so he would sit on the steps, but he would look down at us, and sometimes his paws would be out. But when he'd look down, his fat would kind of go down, his cheeks were all chubby. And sometimes he would just be smiling, it looked like. And we're like, he looks like one of those Chinese cats. So I had an idea, and one of my best friends, Dominique Guevara, did this tattoo as a apprenticeship at Luminex. And I loved it. And then she actually changed the Chinese words in it, because it said something else. I think it was like virtue or something, but I changed it to love.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, it was super cool. That was my recent tattoo.
So Bodhi, it's Bodhi. Okay.
It means
I never asked.
It means enlightenment.
I believe that's where the Buddha was sitting, underneath the Bodhi tree. Okay. Well, I got to get ready for the day. How about you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta go do laundry.
Well, have fun
That I
with
forgot.
that. You have to go back and get it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna make lots of trips.
All right, everybody. If you want to like and share these videos, because we're going to do more, and eventually, I think maybe possibly we'll be getting into podcasts. I think that would be a lot of fun. And anything you want to say at the end?
No.
We got to come up with a catchphrase or something.
I know. We
We'll
gotta be
work on
like, remember in Invader Zim where Dibs talking about that conspiracy show that he always does? And
What does he say?
I don't know. He always just like screams it out all intensely.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny.
We'll scream out something intensely, but
Big
not
fun.
that. Oh, yeah.
Something.
Dib. Yeah, well, we'll work on a catchphrase.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So long, people. Like and share.